Welcome to the weekly market wrap-up. I'm Brent Stafford in This Week for Hannah Bernard. Markets across the board reacted warmly today after Russian President Vladimir Putin eased concerns about the country's tense situation with the Ukraine. Putin's conciliatory comments helped edge stocks up higher and led most investors to overlook further signs of weakness in the European economy. How sunny was the picture? Well, let's find out. The big three U.S. indices all drove higher on Thursday, with the Dow Jones Industrial Average leading the way. The Dow clawed back out of negative territory on Thursday, rising 61.78 points to close at 16,713. The S&P 500 is also doing its best to get back on the winning ground, hitting a two-week high on Thursday, up 8.46 points to close at 1,955. And the Nasdaq also posted gains, up 18.88 points, or 0.43% to close at 4,453. Now let's turn to the Canadian markets, and the TSX also reacted positively to Putin's comments. The Toronto Stock Exchange, which had been trading choppy over the past couple of weeks, still remains up more than 12% for the year, and Thursday helped with a gain of 28.45 points to close at 15,291. The TSX Venture Exchange, meanwhile, is still on a roller coaster ride, dropping 3.54 points to close Thursday at 996.22. Investors, market analysts, and the media always look to bellwether data in order to judge the health of the economy. Here at the Weekly Market Wrap-Up, we believe there's an important bellwether too often overlooked and worth a deeper dive. The data set is media spend, the total dollars brands spend on advertising to sell you goods and services. Group M, which is comprised of the world's largest media buying agencies, released this week its biannual report on global ad investment, and it's forecasting a return to pre-financial crisis spending in 2015. This is by all accounts very good news, as companies always cut back on advertising when the economy is weak. Group M estimates the global ad spend for 2014 will come in at $534 billion. That's over $500 billion and represents a 4.5% increase over 2013. And better yet, in 2015, total global ad spend is projected to increase another 5% to $560 billion. This will finally exceed the pre-crisis peak of 2007 and 8 in real terms. Not surprisingly, the US and China are leading the way. U.S. brand advertisers are expected to clock in a 3.4% increase in 2014, with a total media spend of $161 billion. And in 2015, U.S. companies are expected to spend over $168 billion, a 4.2% increase. And finally, let's take a look at what Canadian companies are spending to entice you to part with your money. Group M forecasts a total media spend of $13.9 billion in Canada for 2014. That's a 2% increase over 2013. And in 2015, Canadian companies are projected to spend $14.1 billion, a 2.1% increase over 2014. So which companies are the top 5 spenders? Well, number 1 is Procter & Gamble with $196 million in Canada. Rogers Communications comes in at number 2 with $143 million. GM Canada comes in at number 3 with $117 million per year. Bell Canada is 4 at $91 million, and Ford Motor Company finishes the top 5 in Canada with $91 million spent in its annual ad budget. Now to winners and losers and our picks for the week. The winner for this week is OmniVision Technologies, ticker symbol OVTI. OmniVision captured Wall Street's attention on Thursday after announcing a Beijing investment group is proposing to buy the company for $29 a share. Shares on the image sensor maker shot up 15% on the news to 28.29, hitting a new 52-week high. OmniVision designs, develops, and markets high-definition image sensors for consumer cameras, medical imaging equipment, mobile phones, security systems, notebooks, and webcams. The loser for this week is Rackspace Hosting, ticker symbol RAX. Shares in the cloud computing company dropped 5.78% on Tuesday, despite beating analysts' expectations on Q2 earnings and Q3 guidance. Rackspace had said in May it received interest from multiple entities about a possible acquisition or merger. However, the company was silent on the topic in its second quarter report this week. Rackspace offers a diverse portfolio of cloud computing services, including public, dedicated, and private cloud and hybrid hosting. Well, those are our winners and losers for this week, and now it's time to check in on the gains you could have locked in. by following the weekly watch list from Robert James and Viral Stocks. Well, that's enough about this week. Now let's turn to BayStreet.ca's look at the week ahead and the snapshot of what analysts are forecasting for companies whose earning reports are coming out next week. Here are 3 U.S. stocks to watch. First up on Tuesday is Home Depot with an EPS forecast of $1.45 compared to $1.24 in the prior year quarter. Home Depot shares surged 2.4% on August 8th to $82.43, making it the biggest gainer of the day on the Dow Jones stocks. Continuing with home improvement, next up on Wednesday is Lowe's with an EPS forecast of $1.02 compared to 88 cents in the prior year quarter. And finally on Friday is Foot Locker Inc. with an EPS forecast of 54 cents compared to 46 cents in the prior year quarter. Now here are 3 Canadian stocks to watch next week. First up on Tuesday is Premier Gold Mines Limited with an EPS forecasted loss of 1 cent compared to a loss of 4 cents in the prior year quarter. The Thunder Bay, Ontario-based Premier Gold announced early in August it signed a deal with Newmont Mining Corporation to consolidate a 100% interest in the Cove McCoy gold properties located along the Eureka Battle Mountain Trend in Nevada. Next up on Wednesday is Petromanis Energy Inc. with an EPS forecast of break-even, comparable with the prior year quarter. Finally on Friday is Raging River Exploration Inc. with an EPS forecast of 13 cents, comparable with 6 cents in the prior year quarter. And that wraps it up. Thanks again so much for joining us for another weekly market wrap-up. Before you head out for the weekend, please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel or podcast on iTunes and find us on Facebook and on Twitter. For Viral Network News, BayStreet.ca, and Hannah Bernard, I'm Brent Stafford.